guys, so today I'm going to talk about all the books that I plan to read in January. This is crazy. It does not feel like it should be the start of a whole new year. Like, I don't know what has happened with 2020. I don't know if it is still March, if the year has flown by or just drug on, but we're here. We're going into January, and these are the books that I really want to get to this month. I have 8 books in total, so not a super ambitious TBR by any means, but I'm also not guaranteeing that I will read all of them because we know how I am. So we're just going to talk about these 8 potentials that I'm going to be reading in January. The first one that I want to talk about that I'm probably going to read this month, this one's kind of like a most definite, is City of Stairs. And this is our shelf space book club for the month. I'm pretty sure Vish at Books with V is our co-host. So I'm super excited to see the live show when they do it, and I definitely am excited to read this book. This will be my first book by Robert Jackson Bennett. I know he wrote Foundry Side and everyone loves it. I haven't read it yet. I do own it though, but I'm really excited. This is one of his like fully completed series, and I'm pretty sure it is very based in dealing with like gods and fallen gods, and it's like this, there used to be gods and then they defeated them, and it's like this whole mythos with like gods, and I'm a sucker for fantasy books with gods. So I'm really excited to get to this one in January. I will also be reading Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I will be reading this as one of the co-hosts of the Cosmere Crab Along this year. And that is a year-long Cosmere read that is being hosted over at Books Before Death. I will leave their announcement video below. I would love to have you join us. This is the first book that we're going to be reading in January, and it is one of the books that I have not read yet, so this will be my first time reading Elantris. And like, this is one of Sanderson's, I think this is his first published novel, and I know it's like either love or hate, but I am excited to see his first published work and kind of compare it to other works in the Cosmere that I have read. And I'm really excited to see where some of like the tie-ins are, because I've heard that there's a lot of tie-ins from Rhythm of War and Elantris. So I'm excited to see those once I get to Rhythm of War. But I'm really excited to read more Cosmere works, and I was so thrilled when they asked if I wanted to like be a part of that. I was like, yes, let's do it. How exciting. So this will be my January read as well. Another one that I want to get to in January is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. There is a sequel to this coming out this year, and I just really want to read this before the sequel comes out. It is like a YA fantasy in a desert setting, and I don't know a whole lot, but I know that it's a pretty beloved series, and I'm really excited to see what I end up thinking about it. I am also planning on reading one of my good friend's favorite books, and that is Senland Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. This is one of Alan's like favorite books. I have heard him talk so highly about it, so I'm really excited to check it out for myself. This is the first book in the Books of Babel series, and what I think is really cool is this was originally a self-published book and then got picked up by a major publisher, so I just love those stories, so I'm excited to read this. Basically, this is a man named Senlin who on his honeymoon goes to the Tower of Babel and loses his wife and has to find her. And I have heard that this is just super weird and just like not your typical fantasy book. So I'm really excited to read this just because of how hype Alan has made this book in my mind. Speaking of Alan, I will also be reading Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the buddy read that he has planned in his Discord this month, and it's kind of like I just needed an excuse to pick this up and read it because I want to read more sci-fi, and my friend Monica at Mooney Reads loves this book. So I'm really excited to see what I think about it. I know it is a very found family, and I just cannot wait to check it out. I'm also gonna try to get to Heart of Flames by Nikki Palpretto this January because I really want to read this before the third book comes out this year. I absolutely loved Crown of Feathers when I read it earlier this year. I have a full review that I will actually link for you if you want to check that out. It is spoiler free. But this is the follow-up to that book, and I'm just really excited to see what happens after the end of the first book because I just need to know what happens because there was quite the twist at the end of the first book that made me super interested to read more. This is following a couple different main characters, but our like main one is Veronica, and she is a Phoenix Writer, or she wants to be a Phoenix Writer. And she kind of goes off to find these Phoenix Writers, but no one will let her in because she is a girl and it's only for boys, I guess. And so she kind of disguises herself as a boy to get in, and it's just a really cool story with Phoenix and with animal companions and talking animals and forbidden magic, and I just love it, and I'm super excited to read more and then see what happens in the third one this year. Another sequel from a book that I read this year that I absolutely loved and am excited to get to is Lady Smoke. This is the second book in the Ash Princess trilogy, and I really liked the first one. It was like a YA fantasy set where the main girl is a princess from this kingdom that had been conquered. She had watched her whole family be slaughtered. The only reason that she is still alive is because this new kingdom uses her kind of as a figurehead to keep her people in line, because like if they rebel or anything like that, they know that she is going to be punished and they don't want their princess punished. So it's really heavily political and like her kind of coming into her own, and I really enjoyed the first book despite the fact that there's a love triangle that I didn't like. But I'm excited to see what happens in this one. And the final book that I'm going to try to get to in January is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is one that is just super hyped up here on BookTube, especially during the winter, and I really want to get to this. It is a like Russian folklore set where our main girl's mother has died, her father remarries, and the like stepmother is very anti, I guess, paganism or whatever their religion at the time is. She kind of wants to like do away with that and just sees it as bad, and this demon I think comes down from the mountain to collect our main girl, and it just sounds so good. I'm super excited to see what the hype is all about because I know people absolutely love this story, and I want to know for myself. All right, so that is all the books that I will be trying to read in the month of January. Let me know if you are going to be reading any of these as well. Our Shelf Space Book Club, if you want to do the Cosmere Crab along with us and start reading Elantras. Definitely, I will leave all the information down below if you want to do some of these buddy reads that are going to be so much fun. Like, what's more fun than reading books with friends and getting to talk about them, really? Well, my name is Jessie, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.